Hi Libra, hope you're doing well. Happy birthday for the Sun Libras. For everyone else, welcome. Whoever you are, wherever you have Libra in your chart, even if you don't have Libra in any planets and you just feel drawn to Libra energy, you're welcome here. We're gonna get out a quick reading. It's gonna be fairly quick because I have a deadline here today. And it could be that some Libras are actually working with deadlines. I'm actually a Libra moon myself, so I'm sure this reading is somewhat reflective of what's going on with me. I'm seeing that a lot of Libras might be quite busy at the moment. I do feel like your season is in general a time where time does speed up and where people do get more busy. The whole back to school season commences with Virgo, which makes a lot of sense, and then we move into Libra. And there's just a lot of like engagements, social engagements, and there's a lot of things starting up again after the summer. That Libra is the sign of social life in many ways. So yeah, so I think that's kind of a normal thing for everyone in this season, but I think that Libras, I feel that Libras are on some sort of a fast forward right now. And yeah, I'm just going to look at we've got some cards out here. I've got some notes. I'm going to look at my notes. We're going to look at the cards we have here, and then we're going to get some clarification. So yeah, where were we? So I've got this deck here. It's called the Luz Tarot de Luz. I don't really know a lot about it, but I find it quite interesting. I didn't really, I just thought it was cute, and I just wanted to get a new deck. And as you might be able to see as well here, I've got this pink scarf laid down. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Libra, I did find this scarf on the street. As a Gemini, I like to, I'm a little bit of a scavenger. I've actually found some of my best items on the street boutique. I did wash it though, because I respect you, Libra, and I respect myself. And it's a pretty scarf. It's definitely silk. It's pink, and it happens to jive with the color scheme of these cards here. And I feel like these cards are they're kind of coy, and I feel like it's like they're a little bit innocent and naive, but there's a little bit more going on. They look innocent and naive, but it seems like there's a little bit more going on there in some way. There's something being held back, and I feel like Libra definitely does have a reputation for being coy, maybe, Libra definitely has the need to just hold back parts of themselves from the world, and that's really necessary because Libra's energy can really be quite flexible to the point of contorting oneself, I would say, as someone who well knows this energy. So yeah, let's get into what we got. So the first card we have here is the Ace of Pentacles. It's a wonderful card here. It's just so there's such a sense of determined manifestation about this card. With the hand, there's a little bit of a darkness to it, almost like there's like the fingers have been dipped in the soil, but also like it's darkness, as if this card is kind of it's like this Ace of Pentacles is like an instrument of the will, your willpower, that almost has a mind of its own. The way your hands and your hands are built to create things, and in some ways they have a mind of their own. They want to work, they want to create. But yeah, So this is like, so there's this like wide awake eye, as you can see on the hand, and it feels like there's some clear grasp on how to make something real that maybe wasn't there previously. Like the eye just looks like it's only just woken up, like just brightly, you know, clearly, like wide awake, suddenly wide awake, and suddenly having this kind of like grasp on suddenly how to make something a reality. That's the feeling I get from that. And then with the Page of Wands here, or the Knave of Wands as it says on the card, there is somewhere between uncertainty and defiance about making this reality happen. You can see that the wand here points to the infinity symbol, and it almost looks like the page on this card is trying to get a signal, or even more just like kind of like tapping some component, like a nail or like a final screw or a final component in something in place. There's a feeling that there's some final component to the picture that must be put in place, but it must be done very gently and very carefully, and it's a very important finishing touch, but it's not a grand finale. It's quite muted. It's like the last piece is like very small, you know. There's also a novice energy to this. There's a feeling that I think that you know this is going to work, but because you've never done it before, you can't trust your mastery until it's real, until that final piece that's put in place. But you're still determined, and it's like you're going to put the piece in place, but you're almost going to just do it as a routine, and you're not going to you're going to forget about it, almost forget about it. You're not going to make a big deal about it, so that it's done, but it's done in a way that you haven't made a big deal about it. And this is what gives you the kind of the strength to do it, because otherwise I think you might be a bit too frightened to put this final component of whatever it is you're working on in place, if that makes sense. Then we have this other page, which is the Page of Cups, or the Knave of Cups. And I'm getting something about not to take your feelings too seriously at the moment. Not that you shouldn't consider your feelings, but they're feelings of vulnerability or fleeting, and it's because they're more than your own. They are more like the feelings everyone would have in a similar situation. You're going through something that will be universally humbling for anyone at this time with what you're facing, is what I'm seeing. There's something, and here we have the Eight of Wands as well, so that suggests there's a lot happening. You're really busy, like I was saying. There's something about a social situation, and we've got the Three of Cups here, and things moving very quickly. And it's like, you look a little dazed by it all, but very pleased and a little bit like taken aback or surprised. It's like something you want's happening, but you also wanted to slow it down. You don't really feel ready for it. With the Eight of Wands here, I think these cards are interesting because like all the details are sort of like misplaced in places I wouldn't expect. The Eight of Wands, with the Sun and the Moon, you get the sense of days passing very quickly. It's like another week is gone, and then another has come, or another night has gone, another day is gone. The people talk about time passing in the blink of an eye, which these cards up here also have a message about that. I'll get to that. But times are busy. This eight almost looks like kind of handcuffs as well. But then there's this free hand at the bottom, if you can see. I have this feeling that some of you are wriggling free of handcuffs. but it's almost like you're kind of distracting yourself so you can get free of yourself, playing some kind of mental game so that you can do what you think you can't do, it's like what you mentally think you can't do, or what you subconsciously know that you can. So you have to kind of trick yourself in some way. And I was a little like I said, I was a little confused by these cards. One of the things is it's just like they're moving the archetypes into different spots. Like this Three of Cups, for example, like that has like the heart on it, the kind of dark red heart, which I would really associate with the Three of Swords, not the Three of Cups. You know, and it's associated with some kind of pain. And that I think is very important. I think there's something here with social life that's associated with some kind of pain. Yeah, like I think maybe possibly like some desire to belong, or something involving, you know, your pleasure, and the pleasure of people, and your enjoyment of other people, that also just brings some kind of something bittersweet to it as well. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, I think these kind of messages or symbols are like moved around on the card, and it's cards like in places you don't expect, you know, and it's almost like maybe that's something that is happening with you, that things are being moved around. Someone or yourself is moving things around and putting them in places you don't expect. So just give you a look at my Ace of Hearts notebook as well, which is also pink. So I think it could be some situation where you feel like you're expected to accept some kind of a reconfiguration, like where everything is defamiliarized and you're not sure you want to go along with it. It's just if you're using like some system or some application on your phone or in work or something, and there's an update, you know, and now you can't find anything that you used to be able to find, but it doesn't seem to have improved the system that much. I think this could be something with work, but it could also be just something with maybe something you'd hoped was going to improve anything in your life, and it's sort of rearranged the elements, but it hasn't quite improved things as you'd hoped. So things are defamiliarized, but there's a little sense of like, maybe just like, well, why is this difficult? You know, I mean, it's not like things have changed, but you're very much trying to change things at the moment, Libra. I definitely feel that energy and that force. Yeah. I also do feel like, in a way, it could be partly you. Like, as I said, you're just trying to shuffle things up to sort of defamiliarize your things for yourself, almost because I know you, Libra, because I am you, and I've got my Libra moon in Libra, that, you know, you almost, decisions are so weighty for you that it feels like almost like you have shuffled things around deliberately, so you won't know exactly where things are, and then maybe you can make almost more of a blind choice, like more of an intuitive choice than you would normally, that you will be able to make a decision decisively and quickly. You will not get as paralyzed as you might do in your decision making, which is a stereotype about Libra, but it is sadly true. I mean, and hashtag not all Libras, okay, but yeah, I think that this is definitely a shadow aspect of Libra, for sure. And it's also a very difficult thing to deal with as a Libra. So yeah, I think you're making some sort of attempt to help yourself by screwing yourself over a bit. I don't really know how else to put this, but yeah, I think there's also this hope, like with the Page of Cups, that there's something there for you among all this debris. There's something hidden there, like maybe you yourself or someone else. It's like there's been some changes in some organization you're working with, or you've made changes yourself in your life, and or someone else is making changes and you're gonna have to go along with them, or things are just drastically changing in various areas of your life, but you feel like there's this hope, and you feel, I think, you know, it might maybe a bit naive, but there's, but it I think it's got some faith within it, like something you're really seeing there, that there's something, there's a message, there's clues hidden there for you among all this disorder, or an opportunity that's made for you, and you alone, and it's hidden there, and you're supposed to find it. And despite this reconfiguration, it will still exist, because the only person who can accept this role, or this opportunity, or this offer of love is you. At the top of the card, we have this symmetry, which is interesting symmetry of these two cards, which are almost like night and day. This is the Eight of Swords. Again, not an image I'd expect for the Eight of Swords. But we do have the eye, and we have the closed eyes and the open eye. The Eight of Swords would generally have, in the classical Rider-Waite Tarot, would have a blindfolded woman who's trapped. So, but in this card, it's like the eyes are closed, but the third eye is open. So this binding, it may be real, but there's some, you know, this binding shut of your eyes, or blinding. But there's your third eye is still accessible to you. Your vision is still working. And then we have the Nine of Swords. It's weird because the Nine of Swords, again, would traditionally be like a very dark card at night, you know, the man sitting in bed. But here we've got the sun with one eye open and one eye closed. I do sort of understand the Nine of Swords being the sun card here, because the sun is a card of the mind, of clarity, and the Nine of Swords can be like an attempt to seek clarity that can be overdone, you know, overthinking. You have the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords together at the top of the deck, and they're like, they're almost like these, they're in this position that's like almost like the sky with this blue background, the heavens. They look like heavenly bodies. This does look like the moon in relation to, with this pale face, in relation to the sun here. I always find it interesting when cards come out with symmetry, like eight and Nine of Swords are similar but different cards, and with a kind of balance there. As a Libra, I would notice, and I do value balance. So yeah, there's something about the mental realm of thinking, and something about the mental realm of thinking at the moment being very free and in its element. Like there are some different things to work out, but it doesn't seem imprisoning. I think you're stressed, but I think you're feeling liberated also. Yeah, thinking feels kind of natural and graceful at the moment. I also know that Mercury has moved into Libra, but I just had so much more to say. There's some depth. Like last night I got this, one of the things I want to say is Libra is a card that's maybe thought of being as like a bit, you know, wishy-washy, but I really, like, I disagree. I mean, you know, I think Libra actually does have intense determination. That's part of its problem, because once it does just make a decision, it will want to follow through. It will want to follow through on all the steps. You know, if you think about the legal system, like once the process starts moving, every step has to be, you know, every step follows from another step, and it's part of this kind of this procedure of causality, where there's one thing causes the other, you know, and once there's a hearing or anything, then there's documents attached to each of those hearings, and then you have to get the documents and process the documents, and it's like all this like massive, weighty, heavy follow through. So in a way, why would any Libra want to make a decision? And so once a Libra has made a decision, they are very determined, and they will follow through in a kind of a little bit of a scary way. But what I'm seeing here is that Libra, I'm just going to get these cards here as well, is that what may be happening here, I think, is that Libra, I feel like Libra doesn't want to be found by anyone right now, and doesn't want to be distracted by anyone but maybe themselves in their own, you know, the deviousness, as I was saying earlier. There's even a sense of perhaps competition, like it's almost like you even less want to be connecting with people you might be more similar with, because then there'll be like more competition. So you're being particularly obscure and particularly aloof at the moment, I think, but it's really to protect yourself, because you're on this track. I think you have made some decisions, and I think you want to follow through, but you're worried that something's going to distract you, and then you're going to have to go off on a different track. So you're kind of not taking opportunities, and you don't want to be found, which is understandable. But I do feel like there may be some pitfalls with this, and just like not taking up opportunities that are here right now for you, that could actually help you follow through with your original decision. You know, they may interrupt, but they may also, anything new may interrupt, but it may also like add to the momentum. You know what I'm saying? And then I was getting this like quite interesting, beautiful download about how when you're dreaming Libra, or when you're thinking dreaming Libra, it's like you're dreaming. It's like your thinking is almost like dreaming, like the way that you shuffle things around. You have to shuffle because there's so much out there. You have to consider everything. It's almost like when you're thinking, it's like the whole mind of God is involved, all the possibilities, past and future. And if you think about it, when you're dreaming, that's like how people dream. It's like every single possibility is available to be shuffled into a dream and can be in any configuration. And because you're realistic, you're never going to actually obviously you're going to spit out the configurations that are appropriate for this world, but you're still going to think and dream of like every single possibility. And your thinking is almost like dreaming. And I see these cards, it's almost like, one eye open, one eye shut. You're sleeping on your decisions. You know that you need to sleep on your decisions. I'm going to get one more card, and then I got to close this out, one or two more. So, yeah, two more. This is good. So we've got the King of Wands, and then we've got the Hanged Man. I think this is just confirming what we've got, Libra, you know? Libra, let's just be real. You don't necessarily like authority, or you don't, like, you like it, but you don't really like being accountable, because you know what that means. So as the Hanged Man, you've sort of taken the leadership role, but you've actually really taken like the real Zen meaning of it, which is that the leader really has to let go of what they're responsible for. I mean, they have to be responsible for it, but they have to let go of the outcome. They also, it's like very responsible leaders are not in it for ego, and this is you, Libra, absolutely. You know, you've like dropped out of your ego somehow here, I see. And you're trying to make a change. And if you can see, this King of Wands is very determined. Everything else here, you know, it seemed a little bit floaty, but this King of Wands is very determined. And And there's a fire. There's such a fire in his heart. I feel like there's something here, Libra, that you have a fire in your heart for something, and that's why you're keeping all this so on the DL, because there's something extremely precious to you here. You really want to protect it, but you're also saying, this is me, you know. I'm the one, you know. Like, that's very difficult for you, Libra, is to say, I'm the one you should turn to, I'm the one who you can trust, I'm the one who's going to take decisions and who's going to be accountable. But in this little kind of slightly coy, delicate but determined way, you're pointing to your heart and you're saying, I'm the one you can trust. So I'm going to leave it there, Libra. I hope you have a great birthday season, and I hope all the other Libras out there, lunar Libras, Libra risings, any other Libras, I hope you're all doing well, and I'm sending you all the best wishes and all the best vibes.